There was a conversation on the Foregen Advocacy Discord channel that will blow you away. Every single Intactivist needs to hear and understand this, even if you don't like Foregen, because this isn't just about Foregen. This is a fundamental problem in most Intactivist groups. Let's read this real quick and then we'll discuss it. So, Strail, Eric needs our help, guys. Ryan says, let's be mindful of rule number 2. Now, rule number 2 is do not post links in other Discord servers, the unofficial Foregen subreddit chat, groups, or advertisements. Unsolicited direct messaging other members of the group specifically for this purpose is also prohibited. Do not solicitate donations on behalf of other organizations or fundraising campaigns. Foregen cannot guarantee the legitimacy of such links. So that's the rule that Ryan is talking to Astrail about. And Astrail rightfully says, even though it's Clopper. Ryan then says it doesn't help Foregen to fundraise for other causes on this server. Alright guys, well, this channel is humorously called the Advocacy channel. And Ryan just gave one of the biggest issues with Intactivism. Most groups do not want to promote other groups and have people or Intactivists choose the product. This is literally Ryan Jones trying to keep Eric Clopper and Intact Global from being seen. At this point, the Foregen Discord is no better than the Reddit that's censoring Eric Clopper. They should be helping each other out, promoting each other, and may the best product win. However, Ryan seems content on keeping eyes away from Eric Clopper's content and his goal with Intact Global. If Ryan was sure that Foregen was the better product than Eric Clopper's litigation, then he wouldn't care, right? The issue with this is not letting other people see what other groups are doing, is taking away their choice by limiting their knowledge. It's circumcising their options. Like, this is crazy. All of my gears are grinding right now. This has pro Cutter vibes all over it. Like, oh, if you take away his foreskin as a baby, he won't know any other way. And don't you tell my son about foreskin ever, because then he may know he's missing something. If you take away Eric Clopper's Intact Global from the Foregen's audience's eyes, the audience won't know any difference, and their donors' hard-earned money stays with Foregen, right? Okay, so let's continue reading this. Ryan says, I know this is the advocacy channel, but the rules apply server-wide. Some people are here only for the research project and are not interested in activism. Well, you know what? That's super crazy that Ryan said that. Because one, if people don't care about the activism side, well, okay, fine, just have them move on with their day. Like, that's the same excuse as, hey, stop teaching people about the foreskin. Some people don't care they are circumcised, and you may upset them. Or this excuse, if the people really cared, they can research it on their own before making a decision, whether to circumcise or whatever, in this case, on who they want to donate to the most. Like, how are these excuses ever acceptable? Also, Ryan is being a huge hypocrite, talking about some people don't want to hear about activism. Foregen has done activism before and posted it on their commentarium. This here was September 30th, 2022. Foregen's chief science officer Eric Cunningham has recently published a comment in Springer Nature's International Journal of Impotence Research detailing how scientists must reckon with the ethical implications of their work. The comment is a response to a previous paper published in the journal that cited Foregen's work. Another one, done by Ryan Jones himself, letter to Discover Magazine. A recent article from Discover Magazine caught our attention, but not for a good reason, unfortunately titled Why Human Foreskin is a Hot Commodity in Science. It explains how neonatal tissue is currently used in scientific research. And then this goes on and tells them what their response was. Once again, this would be advocacy. And it even goes to legal advocacy because it says, is circumcision a fraud? This is by the Foregen staff. Legal perspective, fast facts. It says, Peter Adler's Foregen's legal advisor had a seminal paper published in the Cornell Journal of Law and Public Policy that lays out in detail why circumcision is fraudulent under current U.S. law, and why doctors, hospitals, and medical institutions may be exposed to significant liabilities. Once again, guys, this is activism. So, Why is activism a problem all of a sudden if most people don't care or some people don't care? Oh, right, because Intact Global, that isn't Foregen's work. So, surprise, this is about keeping donor money with Foregen and keeping donors to Foregen. That's the only excuse that he has said that made any sense to me. Ironically, Eric Klopper used to be in Ryan Jones' position. I don't think Eric Klopper would have minded if the roles were reversed, but I don't know. This boils down to hide the information, we want the money. That's the same logic pro-cutters use to suppress the harms of circumcision. But, believe it or not, thank God for Ryan, because Foregen is the good guy in this, because they are brave enough-ish to say what they said out loud. So now we can all have a talk about it. Because look at all the other Intactivist groups. I checked before making this video. None of them, besides Doc and Gaudaf, has said anything about Intact Global. If I missed any groups, please let me know. But before I shot this video, I checked and there is nothing from any group on their Facebook or any other social medias. So at least Foregen said something about Intact Global. And some don't even think they are an Intactivist group. I made a video breaking that down. But look at all of these so-called Intactivist groups. Where did they mention Intact Global? Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Check these Intactivist social medias. These Intactivist organizations are circumcising your options so you don't pick the best option for yourself, but you pick what's best for their business. This is horrible that Intact Global is being censored by omission by other Intactivist groups because they want their donors to donate to them and their audience to only watch, view, and engage with them. I know you may think, oh, Intactivists all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, but that's not the case. And I thought that too back in the day. The majority, if not all Intactivist groups, would rather let you know what the pro-cutters are doing and give the pro-circumcision news to legitimize their nonprofit's existence so you donate to them. This is a huge failure on all Intactivist companies. Quite frankly, Intact Global has a chance of protecting way more kids than most of the Intactivist groups could even dream of. But no, they aren't going to spread Intact Global. They are not using their influence to market ways to end circumcision. They are posting rage bait material or some kind of emotional manipulation material, and the rest of the time they are advertising their own group and their own projects, whether it be books all the way to billboards. There are very few times you will see any Intactivist groups do a collaboration with another Intactivist group. Most Intactivist groups are not for Intactivists. They don't care about sharing other groups' projects or updates, especially if it affects their bottom line. This is why at POTS, we don't just share our projects, but every group's projects. We let you decide what you want to do with that information. If you think POTS is stupid, okay, that's fine. We will give you other options for you to volunteer your time or money for. We don't share rage bait material. We share your thoughts and feelings when you interview with us. We try and give you facts and statistics when we can. The Intactivist movement is failing Eric Klopper, which is a shame after all he has done for us so far. But I don't care even if it's Eric Klopper or Oberon. Every person in this movement deserves an equal shot. And maybe you don't like Eric Klopper, and that's fine, but you should still have a right to know what he's up to. So hit that like button if you feel that it's a duty, especially for the bigger Intactivist organizations, to share the work of other Intactivist groups. Oh, and actually give credit where credit is due, and quit stealing from other smaller Intactivist groups and their content that they worked on to create. A lot of these medium to large Intactivist corporations are nonprofits, but to me, it seems that they are seeking out profits, especially when Ryan says it doesn't help Foregen fundraise for other causes on this server. I understand the difference between nonprofit and for-profit, and honestly, it's not that big of a difference. So let's recap because it's so important. These facts took me 8 years and us starting POTS to figure out 3 things. Following Intactivist groups does not equal you getting Intactivism news. Not even major news. unless it's about their own nonprofit company or group in some way. You are way more likely to see some pro-Qatar news or pro-circumcision news to tug on your emotions and heartstrings than another intact-friendly group's news, which isn't good for your mental state in my opinion. Most intactivist groups do not work together or support each other. They don't want you to see other intactivist groups. They don't want you to know your options, even if you try paying them. Here at POTS, we offered every single Intactivist group $300 to advertise for us. We got declined by all the mainstream Intactivist groups, most likely because they don't want to risk people knowing all their options and choosing what's best for themselves, or they felt that POTS was competition for them. And lastly, the main driver of these nonprofits is getting you to donate to them. Let me know down in the comments, has the Intactivist companies lost touch of their mission of protecting children by not sharing important projects like Intact Global? Where do we draw the line between protecting children and kids and teenagers and even adults from needless amputations and targeted emotional manipulation for donor money? Let me know down in the comments. Also subscribe as well to the channel to show these six-figure Intactivist companies that, hey, I want to know the truth. I want to know all my options. Because here at POTS, we are going to try our darndest to give all of your options that you have so you can be fit with the right Intactivist group that you like. You guys deserve a group that will put you first. So please, guys, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. We should definitely be having this conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.